Hi, I know you have not received videos from me for some time now, just that I had some challenges, but now I am back and I hope to be more consistent and continue to take you on this journey of Python and also on the journey of data science in general from zero to hero. So, we have looked at basic operations in Python and variables and also basic data structures like lists, tuples, sets. Today, we are going to be looking at the conditional if. This is very important, and you see that there are many things that we can do with if. I'll just introduce you to it today, but then you'll be able to use it more and do better things later on. So, you have operators like greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, and not equal to. So these would be things we mostly use because how is the normal if syntax like? It's if something is true, colon, then now you have this indent. This indent is very important. This is what makes the if statement know that this thing is under the if. So if, for example, I'll just say if that happens, maybe print it is true. It is true. So that means that if this statement, if there's true here, maybe 5 greater than 4, 4 greater than 2, things, whatever operation you do here, and the answer is true, then it should print what this thing down here or do other calculations under here. We're just using print just simply to demonstrate that. So print it is true. Now, if for example you don't use this indent here, which means you put it like this, if I run this, I'm just going to get an error straight away telling me that the indent is not good. So that is why if I put it right and then I run it now, what do we expect? We get it is true. So because you say if this condition is true, then it is true. So now, what if I say false? Let's put false. Now, let's run it. So what do we get? We get nothing because it's expecting this condition here to be true for it to print it is true or print whatever thing here. And if the condition here turns out to be false, then since we did not specify anything here, it just does nothing. So let us specify something there and see how it's going to behave. So let's say else. Now notice that with else we will not say else false here again, because up here it is supposed to be, it's expecting a true answer. It's expecting true, and then if it doesn't see true up here, then it will just come down here and go to this must be false. So it's either true and it prints it is true, or it comes down here and then it's waiting, okay, so what do I print or what do I do? So we don't need false again, we don't need to type false here because it's already coming down here. So here we just say print. Now for example it is false or it is not true or so. So now when we do that, now we run this, let's run this, we get it is true, yes. Now when we change this, let's say we do operation maybe 1 minus this, or 1 is equal to or divided by, and then it turns out to be false. Then when we run it now, you see we get it is false. So that shows that we have this first line true and this second line false. Okay, so let's use an example so that we can be able to see how we get maybe false here or true here. So let's just say, for example, we have age is maybe 20 or so. So we can say if age, let's take greater than, or let's say young, let's take less than. I'll just take less than here, copy, take less than. If age less than maybe 20, now we can say that the person is a teenager. So you are, we can say you sorry, you are a teenager. Now then else, because if you are not a teenager, that means you're not maybe between 0. We can just say, let's just consider that normally teenager is, oh, it's better to say you are young, simply. So you are young. So below 20, you are young. Teenagers included, babies included, you're young. And then we can say maybe you are an adult. Let's just take it like that. So we expect that if we put 20 here, it should be adult, because this is, if the one, remember, this less than or equal to. So when it's less than, it means it should be something like 19 and below. But if we want it to 20 to be included, we have to put the equal to sign, so that we say age less than or equal to 20. So it means 20 is inclusive. So let's just run it and let's see. So let's first run it like that. Let's go run it. So what do we get? You are an adult, because 20 is above, is not included in this cutoff. Now let us put less than or equal to 20 and run it and see. Then you see you are young, because it is at the borderline. So 20 is also included here and below. So if you are 18, 19, 20, 17, you are young. So just remember how to use this greater than and less than or equal to. So now let us move on then. So now we have these two conditions. Okay. So what if we want to separate now into maybe young, middle age, and adult? How do we go about that? And that is where now you come up with the next thing, which is the Elif. So Elif is like after the first if, we don't use another if again. We now use Elif to say, okay, check. Is it maybe is the person below 20? So we could say if the person is below 20, the person is young. Now we could say Elif, we give another condition again. What could we estimate like middle age? Let's just put it, let's just say, for example, middle age is between now from 20 to maybe 35 or so. Let's just put it like that. So less than 35. So we are saying now that if the person is less than 20, okay, person is young. If you're not less than 20, it means that you're between 21, 22 to 30. So between 21 to 35. Now we can also put our colon here, and then we say print the middle, your middle age, Then now, if you are not young, if you are not middle age, then what we expect here would say you're elderly. So we can just say you're elderly. So let's try and see, run this and see. So we run this, we see your middle age. So because that 20 is not included here, so it's from 19 and below. So let's take something like 25. You see, still the same, your middle age. Now if we take now between 20 and 35, so let's say your middle age. Now if we take now between 35 and above, we say maybe take something like 40. You run it, you're elderly, and then we take maybe like 20 or take 15 and run it. Then you see now that you are young. So that's how the if statement could be used. And then you have elif. You could have another elif again here for another condition. Elif, there could be more, okay. But let's look at this now. So let us say that we are talking now about is male or is male, or we can say gender. Let's just say gender equals to, now we can say maybe male, for example. So we could say that if age less than 20, then we say and. Now you see we can use operators like and or, and gender equals to male. So here you think now that we have to put the equal to like this. So normally this equal to in Python is like you're assigning a variable. You're saying this gender, just think of it like this from here to here. It's like you're saying gender equals to male. So you're like declaring it here. So to distinguish this equal to from this other equal to, that's why we use this equal to here, which is a comparison now. It's now comparing that, okay, is gender actually male? Not like the one of gender is equal to male. Gender takes the value male. So we say if age less than 20 and gender takes the value male, then what do? We can say print you're a young now boy, for example. We can say you're a young boy. So you see how we could use and here or to run this. So let's go, let us run this now and see what we get. So we see you're a young boy. So what happens now if this gender now was female? I guess you already know what we are going to get, because this now will become false. And normally we're expecting this to be true and this to be true. So let's run it now and we see it goes to your middle age. Why? Because it is not, these two conditions are not, it's not having these two conditions anymore, because we're not able to say you're 20 and you're male. Now 20 and female, these two conditions are not true, so it moves on to the next line. So let us show, so I hope you see how we could use the and or even or in here. So let's move on now to the next thing, which is, let's take off this one and then we say, okay, if age less than 20, now you can still come again and add another if. Now gender equal to, remember, male. Now you say, what again do you want to say? You say print a young boy, a young boy. Now else gender, else. Now remember, it's the else statement. You don't need gender again. Else, print now a young girl. So what are we saying? If you check first is less than 20, don't move here to the Elif yet. Take another if again. Check if gender is equal to male, given that you're already at the less than 20. Then you tell us it's a young boy. Else you print a young girl. So you see, I'm just focusing on this top one just for you to get the principle, the theory, and I know from there you'll be able to, the sky is the limit with if. So let us run this now and see. So if we run this, we see here now that let's run this and see. Okay, so okay, you see why we get this, you see why we get this, you're a young boy and a young girl. It's because this one now is out of this if here. So you see, it just prints this. It has evaluated this very fine. It has seen that this is a young girl, which is correct because the gender is female. But then since this one is not part of this block, it just reads it like that. So normally we should take out this one, then run it again, and then we see we get a young girl. You take it, you say male now, you run it again, see a young boy. And as soon as you go above the age of 20, whether male or female, it's checked already, the condition is not suiting, so this whole block is not executed. It now goes to the next block and executes this one. So let's run it now and you see, so you see your middle age. So I hope it gives you a brief introduction to if and can help you take it on from there with all the operators and or and if inside if, elif, else, and you understand how the syntax works and how the indentations work. So I hope you like this video. See you next video.